exam. Because if you tell that your question CA, what are the questions that you are ready to post? Which item? And next, which college? So, but if you tell that your friend scored 7,686 rank in JEE Mains, what is his question? What the this question would be? It would be which IIT campus, which NIT campus. It won't be which item, it will take long term or short term. There won't be such questions in an IIT exam. So, if someone cracked IIMs, they won't ask the question, how many attempts did you take? Only in CA, we majoritize attempts because it's a human psychology to compete against ourselves, against others. Again, in our own kind, we have that inbuilt mechanism to compete. So, because as Charles Darwin stated that competition is a process of evolution. So, competition is not a bad thing, but in an exam, we just pass and fail matters. We have developed attempt to such a way that in interview they are using attempts as a filter. So we should be in a mindset, in such a mindset that we are writing an exam, because in intermediate plus 1 and plus 2 we are not seeing the final exams as an attempt. We are just focusing whether to score 90 or 80 plus. But in CA we are just aiming for the 50%, which is a purely wrong concept, and which we will prove why we should not be doing it in course of our 2 hour session. 1 hour session, 2 hours. Genius.
So the mindset, what should be the mindset for a CS student who is going to the exams? It's very important, and we are going to discuss it. And the mindset plays a crucial role, because if you think entering into the exam hall thinking it is an attempt, then you won't be giving your 100%, because in the subconscious mind you will be having, the thing is that if not May, we have September, if not September, we have January. So that's the thing which draws you back. So we thought that it's not an attempt, it's an exam. So think like you have only one attempt. So no one here failed 10th exam, right? Because we know it's only one chance and we think it's an exam. So we give our 100% in whatever it takes, we have to give us. But coming into the professional courses, we have multiple attempts. So our mindset, in subconsciously we have like, if not this, we will do next, and that procrastination will be coming. And the mindset, we have so many quotes collected from different people and different books, and so which states the importance of the mindset. And the detailed mindset will be discussed like.
So yeah, like we pick many quotes from Bhagavad Gita to Winston Churchill, which are not mostly linked, but still we can see that there is no perfect mindset. Because we have C. Aman Gupta, who is a leading entrepreneur, and we also have Aditya Birla, who inherited billions. So there is not a right mindset to crack an exam. So what I say as an ideal mindset is, you should not attach with your outcome. You should attach with the process. Because many ask, like, how do you stay consistent for 6 months? If you stay consistent for just 6 months, then after CA you are going to sign a balance sheet worth of 1,000 crores. Or else a simple disorder of your personal check can give you a jail or a penalty up to 10,000 if you study law and professional things. You know that a simple disorder of your personal check may cost you 10,000 extra penalty apart from the bank's penalty. So CA final is not just about consistency. After CA also you have to be consistent keeping the CPRs, you have to be consistent in filing your personal debts and your client status. You have to be very consistent in filing for the board of recruitments or any PSO recruitment or any. You also consistent while approaching tenders also. So consistency just starts with the CA filing. So it's not just after the 6 months preparation. So you should have a mindset that what you are doing today is your achievement. It's not just after 6 months I will write the exam, then I will achieve something. No. If you have done the chapter which you have planned to do today, that's your achievement. And you want the back. So you just, as famously said, what's or not won on the battlefield, they are won in the training grounds. And the same goes with our CA exams or any exam for that matter. So exams are fast or clear while we are revising, because many people tell, we see all the papers on YouTube, they will be telling the 45-day strategy or 30-day strategy. So they just tell them because they just want to be famous and they just want to learn on themselves. Of course, anyone would love to make money. Being CS, we love to make money. So they just come on this 45 30-day strategy. So, but what I tell is, every day should be strategy of your own, because we know that facts and circumstances change from case to case. So you should decide what is your strategy for your exams. So in that manner, cultivate the right mindset is a starting. We'll go through all the phases. Till the exam or after the course exam, what we should be doing, we will discuss everything. But first we start with the right mindset. So what's the right mindset? As I told, the right mindset is not waiting till the exams. Today is the day you are going to do. So whatever you plan today, you are going to do today or always tomorrow. If you do what you are going to plan today and you do it perfectly, you are passed. And if you are going to do at least 50%, you are getting a professional degree. And if you are going to do at least 70% of what you plan, you are getting all the ranks. For 70%, 75% is all the ranks. So scoring in exams is not a main thing. So preparing today and tomorrow for what comes in 6 months or 7 months is the main game changer. So you will tell, like, is this question enough? No. Just give your 100%. Giving your 100% is the best advice anyone could do, but no one will do. Because if faculty said, just give your 100%, don't buy any classes. So how do you think they will survive? You won't get any money. So majority won't tell is give your 100%. If you give your 100%, if you see, in May 22, Rajan Kapra got all the first time in CA Inter. In this May 25, after 3 years of partnership, Rajan Kapra got only first time in CA final. So, how did he score it? Because he just gave 100%. And his 100% is 100% of any student who is attending in that attempt. So, if we, majority, if you see, anyone who got a rank in CA Inter has the potential to get rank in CA final if the circumstance doesn't change. So, what I tell is give your 100%. Not just a 50% I is expected. So if you give your 100%, you start your exams preparation in such a way that I should not score 100%. Or 50%. I should be just giving my 100%. So if it turns out to be rank, well and good. If it doesn't turn out to be a rank or if you just pass, that's more than enough. Because you'll be just 0.25% of the whole India's population. So 2 lakh 40,000 CAs are there as of first April. So you will be in just 1% of the population in India if you just score 50%. So just give your 100%. That's the mindset we'll be having for any exam, let it be foundation or inter or final. First of all, let me ask you a basic question. How many of you remember what the basic elements of Indian Contract Act, which you said in CA foundation? Okay, 1%. 2. Okay, so in 3. So in class of 35, you have just 3%. This is less than 10% remembering what we studied in foundation. So of course we won't be remembering it. So but that would allow you to crack CA foundation, CA inter to a upper action. But for CA final, you should be studying beyond the books. So you should be studying in such a way that you should be connecting every subject and every matter. So just studying the questions or studying the question banks or just the concept ones would not help you. So my friend will take you through the next step in the process. So after setting the right mindset, next we have to set the right strategy. As I told, the strategy for today or tomorrow. So what's the goal? So in our goal, which exam you are applying for? Is it September or January? So I will take my friend's example. He took leave 2 months back for November exams. CFI November exams. But 1 month before they announced the September attempt. So he took for November attempt. And crazy thing is, like, he didn't ask permission for January. So he has many different possibilities. Let me state your 4 possibilities. First one, should he write for January both groups, or should he write for September one group, or should he write for January only one group, or should he ask for permission to complete his apprenticeship by January again, write it for May exams. So he has different possibilities. So you have to figure and stick with one possibility till the end. So it may differ from one person to another. But you have to stick with one possibility, and there may come times when you surrender yourself. But you should not let that stop you. once you stick with a plan till the end of the 6 months or 7 months, you have to stick with that one plan. So that's what my friend will discuss next.
So we have discussed deeply about the mindset. So the mindset is creating, not thinking about the results, like whether I will pass after 2 months or thing, but it is doing the process in the right way. Because if you do the process in the right way, the results will always will become the right thing. So the thinking and changing the mindset from what you are now to what you should be is a difficult thing, and it does not happen in weeks or days in the house as we speak, but it may take months. But you should be in the way to change your mindset, which it takes you in the right process. So creating the right mindset, and we have some mindset quotations we have taken, and which will help you in your preparation. And the mindset plays a key role, and we are creating the right mindset will give you the way to prepare. Like if you are not well prepared, and your mindset decides you how you work. So if you think I crack it and the next attempt at any cost, that should be your mindset. And the mindset plays a key role, which will always you should make your routine. Like you cannot be postponing, and you cannot be diverting from other things. Like having a clear thought of mind, as we take an example, like you should not be confused. You should stick to one thing, and your mind should fix like that. And you can't just postpone it or take other plans for the writing the exams or preparation. And cultivating it takes time actually. As we see, we can't cultivate the right mindset. If you can't be demotivated that I do not have the mindset what a person who requires to clear the exams. So that should not be a demotivating factor, but it should be a motivating thing that I should create a good mindset, and it should have impact on me rather than I should the other factors what your friends are doing or the events or the other things which should not be a demotivating mindset to you.
So like these are the resources which I personally followed for my CA final to prepare the right mindset. So a book by Joseph Newton introduced me to the whole thing of the mindset. So Joseph Newton is just like like ourselves, like an undergraduate when he write the book Don't Believe Yourself, and it won the New York bestsellers and Times bestseller. So what this book tells that, so if I tell the word weight, so the first thought will come to kgs or grams, but you won't think of tons. So what weight is just a measure of something, a mass. But what thinking is, thinking takes you to the next level. So for suppose, in some exam, like right before the exam, you open a new RPP series. So RPPs of course will contain amendments. So and you could attempt some questions in the RPPs. So what's the first thing your mind tells? You are not going to clear this exam because you are unable to attempt the new RPP. So, but what's the wrong thing there is, your mind does the thinking. Because mind is able to protect ourselves. So for suppose there is a lion in the room. But if my mind doesn't tell me to run, then I am going to die. Even if I run, I am going to die. That's the second issue. But if the mind doesn't tell me to run, then there is no chance of me winning. So mind always provides us the basic elements to thrive, to just survive, not just thrive. So when a mind tells you are just going to fail the exam, so what is telling you is don't go into so much of preparation and don't exhaust yourself. That's what the mind is trying to tell. But what we assume is we are not going to pass, we can just have the next attempt. So that's the basic difference of thinking and the thought. So there are many great speeches. If I can go to the previous slide.
I woke up and I suddenly got it.
So we have a Jim Carrey person. So he is a Hollywood actor, and you can listen to his speech about the thought.
I woke up and I suddenly got it. I understood suddenly how thought was just an illusory thing. And how thought is responsible for, if not all, most of the suffering we experience. And then I suddenly felt like I was looking at these thoughts from another perspective. And I wondered, who is it that's aware that I'm thinking? And suddenly I was thrown into this expansive, amazing feeling of freedom from myself, from my problems. I saw that I was bigger than what I do. I was bigger than my body. I was everything and everyone. I was no longer a fragment of the universe. I was the universe. And ever since that day,
So that's a famous speech on enlightenment by Jim Carrey. If you Google it out, you get the whole speech. So what he's trying to tell is, a thought is just not you. So for suppose, if I tell you tiger, you will imagine an animal with an orange and white stripes. So why don't you imagine the same thing when I tell the word bear? You imagine a bear, but bear also is a bird, but you imagine an animal. Why is it so? Because our mind is trained in such a way to allow those thoughts to come. So many people, like we have the Lord Zoo, like he's a founder of Stoicism. So he goes on to tell that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So our journey of CA should also start with a single thought. So we should create the circumstances in such a way to allow the positive thoughts to come. There's also a famous quote saying that a positive thought will never come to a negative mind. So we should cultivate a positive environment to allow the positive thoughts to come. So if you are in a constant struggle to how to clear or just pass an exam, then your mindset will never aim for something higher. Your mindset will just aim for the 50%. So if you are done with 50% of syllabus, your mindset tells, okay, you are done, your preparation is done. But you aim for 80% or 100%, then your mindset tells, okay, you completed this, then what's the next goal? You completed this subject, then what's the next subject? You completed these questions, then what's the next question that you can refer? Then what's the next derivation you could do? So you should aim for higher and give the thoughts the possibility to turn into reality. Because all these great entrepreneurs, be it Tata's or Ambani's, they build empires. Even empires, they have from FMCGs till oils, they have everything in India. So why? Because they have the right mindset to convert the problems into solutions. So they don't have the solutions. They have the right mindset to convert the problems into solutions. That's what we're aiming here, to cultivate the right mindset. So as I told about the book, and the power of is something which is a intermediate level in spirituality. So I would recommend that. And also we have many free apps like Verito or Miracle of Mind by Sadhguru, in which they just ask for 5 to 10 minutes of your daily time to just cultivate this habit of transforming yourself, like not associating with thought. Because many of you may think, I just clear my CA interview multiple items or group by group. So can I give the whole group CA final, or can I get an all India rank? You may ask. But the basic thing is you should detach yourself from the past and consider just as a thought, like just as input. Your brain is telling you that okay, this is a condition you should consider for securing an all India rank or passing first and final. Because based on your past achievements, you should consider those things. But what do? We attach ourselves to the thought. We become the thought itself. So we will tell that, okay, I am not able to pass. So I won't be able to clear the CA final due to my ability to not clear the CA in the first attempt. So that's just a thought. But you are becoming the thought by attaching yourself to the thought. This should not be the case when you are writing some professional exam like ourselves. Like the CA and CMA, because we get tons and tons of negative thoughts, if not in days, in months. So we should not attach ourselves with these thoughts. So we can find these many YouTube videos, like these are the famous things which I could find and which I used on YouTube, and the apps are completely free, you can easily download them. Next, moving on, we have cultivating the mindset by the next step, which is next step. Asking which exam is you, whether it's May, September or January. So many people ask whether I should write for May or, as I shared my friend, he took leave for November, but suddenly the exams were preponed. So whether he should write for September or January. So this is my exhaustive checklist which we developed. So first we should have 2 months of minimum revision time after completion of classes. So many people confuse what is preparation in revision classes. So which we will very later, but we should have minimum 2 months of revision time. So we have 6 subjects in CA final, leaving the syllabus modules in 6 subjects, and each subject allocates 200 or 250 hours on approximate. So we have 1,200 hours. So 1,200 hours per day you study for 10 hours. I don't get those extreme cases where people claim that they study for 12 hours but there is no proof. So just take you study for 10 hours. So 1,200 divided by 10 is 120 days, which means you need at least 4 months of which means you need at least 4 months of time per just so you need just 4 months of time for just completion of the classes. After classes, you need again 2 months for revision. So which is of approximately 6 months. But we will just take off leave. We just take leave for just 5 months or 4 months, in which we majorly focus on completing the classes. But how much time did they tell for completion of classes? 4 months. But we get leave for 5 months. We just complete the class in 4 months and leave 1 month for revision. But what I told, leave 2 months of revision. Most of us won't leave because we will focus on classes. So even if you get 4 months, we'll compensate this 4 months by studying, by listening classes, but we won't focus on the revision of 2 months. So I didn't mention anywhere about the classes. So I just mentioned 2 months of revision after classes. So you take 1 year or 2 years of your articles for classes, but just give me 2 months for revision after completion of classes. Then you will be able to completely prepare for whichever attempt is coming next. So as IC also has kept the deadline, like if you complete your articles by this time, you will be able to sit for interview, or you will be able to sit for your finals. Like give yourself a deadline, that is 2 months before the exam, you should be able to sit for revision after completion of 50 classes. So next we have you, based on your performance in previous exams, CA Intro or CA Final, CA Foundation, you will be able to decide like whether I can attempt all the 8 papers at once, all the 6 papers at once. That is the best question, because there are no mock tests that are very close to ICA, but they are very close but not exact thing. So you can take the best exam list whenever you last study, whether it be Foundation, whether it be CA Inter. So how much you could study based on the study schedule which was developed in your Inter. So if you are quite exhausted in your CA Inter of studying all the 8 subjects at once, then you might think I am not able to study 6 subjects at once, because final is very lengthy and it has vast syllabus. So based on your past performance, but check your ability, because don't listen to this, listen but don't focus on exactly what they tell, because as I told, circumstances differ from case to case, and see your capability based on your past performance. And next, don't take advice from too many friends. As my friend, he approached me like that November and September, right? He approached when he asked me whether to write this. I told like write one group in September and ask your principal for permission, write your second group in January. And the same day I approached like couple of my friends in this room and they told like ask your principal permission, write 2 groups in January. And one was told that your principal won't give you permission, you skip the attempt. So those many advices you will take. So just consider that one friend you have who really cares for you. Like many people care, but they don't know you personally to a level that they could give a personalized response. So don't focus too many on advices. You may ask, like you are telling a seminar, you are telling don't focus on too many advices. So mine is also an advice. You may tell. So mine is more generic advice. So I will tell that these are the major checklists, but draft your own checklist. These may be a few points, but you categorize yourself with more points also, because you may categorize yourself like whether there are enough articles in your office, whether there is any work pressure in your office. So in that manner, you can consider add some more points to determine whether your exam is due in May or September. And the last thing is, as I told, 2 months for revision, and that includes a mock test also. So be sure to plan the mock test also, because if you are not writing a mock test, which we'll discuss further why they are so important. So before going to the break, we'll just discuss how to finish our classes.
So yeah, we have learned about having a right mindset. You can see without a compass or a syllabus, and even you can't just go on the road without a destination. So you need to set a goal. like what should I do in the next 2 months and what is the end result what I want to achieve. So the goal should be SMART. So most of you know what is SMART, right? Can you just explain what is SMART?
Specific, measurable.
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic and time bound. So your goal, like if you have 1 month left with after completion of classes, you can't just score ranks. But it may happen, but it should, like, your efforts also, like you should be match those goals, and it should be specific. Like you can't just say non-specific things, and that doesn't give a good motivation to you. And coming to the classes, so classes are something, they are only for showing you a way how to learn a subject, but it's not an end. So like I have completed classes, I can go and give my attempt and I can write exams. You can write, but you won't get the perfect result what you want to desire, what you want to get. So check for the latest faculties. Like if you ask me from where did you take your FR classes, I may say one faculty where when I took the classes he is good. Like it's everyone, it's the life cycle is there, you will see. Like there will be growth and maturity and then decline. So each faculty is also like that only. Like they will have some peak time, and at that time they will be very good at their faculty, at their teaching or their thing. So after some time their views or their faculty type of teaching will be overcome or overachieved by other faculty. So you need to check for the latest faculty who is good at the particular subjects, and that will help you a lot. Because you can't ask you can't take classes from someone who is famous at 3 years back and who is not right now. So because there are some constant upgradations to the faculties, and so many are entering and so many are and don't depend on self-study if you can afford classes. So self-study is only for, like, you can take for audit if you are very good with audit knowledge, and if you have articles done based only on audit, because self-study is something risky with your time, with the time restrictions we have with the articleship. We need to manage our articleship work, and we need to manage our other course at house and personal things, and doing self-study we don't get that motivation and time. But if you have classes, it's like just show the way how to go, and avoid taking classes combined with your friends. It usually happens. We take 2 friends will take a single class and we'll think of completing at a time. So that's bad idea it is. So like it's your timetable and your convenience won't match with your friends, and it just like destroys the mood and the thing. Fix upon one faculty after all your efforts rather than on the faculty's teaching. So I have seen my friends, like, they take the classes, regular classes from one faculty, and after some time they take the revision classes and marathon from the other faculty. So like each faculty will have their own type of teaching. Like if some starts with the smaller things and small and easy math topics, and some start with complex matters, and their type of approach is different. So like if you take 2 classes from one faculty and marathon from another faculty, like you will be taking 2 approaches at once, and that brings you confusion rather than confidence on the subject. And again, confusion is a big and dangerous thing to have in the last during the preparation time. So fix to one faculty at any cost. Maybe you have made good decision or not. As faculty's contribution to your success is 50%, and the remaining 50% should be your hard work and commitment and consistency. And do revise. Revision along with classes is important, because 3,000 plus other things wander around our brain. We have so many things. We have Insta, Snapchat, WhatsApp, status, and everything. And we have events, concerts, movies. A lot of distractions. Like we can't list them. So along with the classes, we get many distractions around ourselves. Like we forget the main classes, and we remember all those things. That's what brain is customized, or what should I say? So we should revise consistently along with the classes. So like it's like our subjects are vast, that if you will forget the first topic what you have listened, and when you came to the last topic, that is one of the things you should be keeping your mind while you are listening to the classes. Don't sit for continuously listen classes. Give a break, revise, and go. As And one more thing is every topic is connected to a one thing. So first complete the FR and static subjects, like if you take FR and AFM, so they don't change frequently, like you take DT or IDT. They every 6 months will get some amendments, be it in PDS or something. And for DT and IDT, I recommend to keep it to the back because recent amendments should be covered while you write your exams. And you can complete audit by self-study if you are very good at audit and you have scored well in your CA. And for the IBS, I don't think any classes you require. The preparation you make for the 5 papers is itself enough for the IBS. And now after the classes, what is the next main step you should take is revision, preparation. Like, sorry, if not for the revision. And preparation is not revision. So why is preparation and revision used simultaneously, but why they should not be used simultaneously will be discussed by my co-speaker.
So first, if we see the word revision and preparation, they mean a quite dramatic difference if you take for English, suppose. We see the revision meaning. So the etymology of revision, if we see, it started with the word to see, means to revisit, means to revisit some concept which you already learned. But preparation, if you take for preparation, not just your exams, if you take the word preparation, it means to prepare for something, not just revisit it. So you're preparing for the first time. So preparation is something you do before the revision. So after the classes, before the revision, you do the preparation thing. But many people confuse revision preparation because they just do one preparation and they consider it as revision. And they go for exams, and you know what happens next. So what is preparation? So preparation, you should just plan once, and without a plan you're not going to succeed anyways, because as Benjamin Franklin rightly said, failing to plan is planning to fail. So plan once. And how should be your plan? Your plan should be personal to you, and you should stick with the plan till the end, as I told earlier. So here you have a small chart. It tells that for suppose you take the FR, for suppose the index. So the entire content that is covered by SA is just 85% what's outside. 85% is rough estimate. So the entire content which is released by the MCA is there outside, the 100%. But what ICA thinks is that 85% that it would cover in those 3 or 4 modules of ICA study material. And next, what faculty covers is 75%. Because if faculty want to cover the 100%, they would keep a 400 hours lecture, which we won't be able to purchase. We will not go to the faculty. We'll go to faculty which provides a less number of hours. So they deliberately skip the 10% coverage, which ICS skips, skips the 15%, and the faculty skips the 10%, we are skipping the 25%. That's the point where you purchase the classes. After you purchase the classes, we purchase the exam oriented class. Generally, we don't have time to purchase the main course batch for all the subjects. So for 1 or 2 subjects, we'll go for the exam oriented batch, which is a very less hours compared to the main batch. So they will cover all the topics, but you don't have the conceptual knowledge to link all the topics. So that is the main problem between the longer rankers and who just pass. Because in exams we will get questions majorly out of the question banks, but 2 or 3 questions, like 10 or 15 marks, there will be questions which need you to apply the knowledge, not just the sections. You need to apply the knowledge and your analytical mind to connect all the sections which you studied in different parts of the chapters, different parts of the particular subject. For suppose if you take direct tax or a GST, for suppose you have to connect a circular, you have to connect a case study, you have to connect a section to write one question. So this may be covered in some question banks, but majorly in exam oriented batches they won't cover this much conceptual knowledge. So they will lose around 5 or 10%. And next, what faculty teachers will not remember 100%. And also, as the writing in exam in those high pressure moments will fall to 40 or 45%. So if you take the entire content is 100%, but we're going down, we're just able to present it just 40 or 50%, and you are expecting that 40 and 50% to be perfect and the other person to understand it and again give marks for it. So giving marks for the 40%, of course, will get into 35 or 40%. So you're just passing 40 in every subject which you're not clearing the aggregate. So this is what happens. So just try to cover the gap as much as possible. So how do you cover the gap? At first stage, study the entire content if it's possible, the Direct Tax Bail Act or bail laws. Next, focus on AC material rather than go to the faculties. Many people will tell, they just cover the AC material. So you will be covering 50% or 25% gap. Next, don't take the exam oriented batches if you have lots of time. So many people tell that they completed FR in the last 6 months. Okay, they completed, but they just took the exam oriented batch. But if you want to take, if you want to cover this gap, you have to take the full regular batch. So you have to start preparation from this day if you have attempted 1 or 2 years later. So this gap will be covered only if you start the preparation on day 1 of your articles. And next, a grasping gap can't be covered. You just have to keep your mind active, that's it. And exam performance can be cleared up to extent. So the basic readings which I recommend to clear the massive gap is cover directly from ICA study material, and if possible go beyond ICA study material also. But don't stick to faculty materials. And also, if possible, take regular batches and be disciplined while completing the regular batches, because at the end most of us will fall into taking the exam oriented batches. And also the next one is cover the performance and the grasping gap by constantly revising it. We will tell you how to revise also. So basically, trying to go as near as 100% will help you clear that at least 50%. So next, I will tell you that you can leave topics. So many ask me, can we leave some questions? But I will tell leave topics, not questions, because many people leave questions in few topics, and if they turn out to be that one question which you left, only if you left only one question on topic and that exact question turns out, then all the questions you prepare in the topic will be waste, right? So you just leave one topic. I still remember I left in EIS one topic of 20 pages, and the question I left the whole question because I know damn sure that if a question comes, I will be leaving that question. So leave the whole topic. And in audit, in inter we have audit of financial statements. That's a lengthy and hell lot of chapter with many points. You can leave the whole chapter also, because you are damn sure that if any point comes in from that chapter, you are going to leave it. So, but if you prepare half of things, and if the questions come for the next half, then half preparation is waste. So cover the entire questions from topic, but you can leave the topics itself. So many we left in the faculty also suggest to leave some topics. In CA final, in IDT you can leave few topics, in customs itself, in DT you can leave few topics itself, not just the questions. So leave the topics, but cover all the questions in the topics you choose. So you can be, you should not be master of the all. You should be master of one. That one topic you should be perfect in it. You should be very good at that one topic. So if a question comes from the topic, you should be very well to answer that one question. So that's the basic thing you should cover in the first revision. First preparation revision. For moving to next slide, we have revision. Many people get tense. So let me ask 4 questions on the screen. That's are you worried about these 4 things? Majorly you say no, because everything has its own time, as CA Baron has told. So for revision and preparation, our mindset is to just learn the new question. It's not about how well you are going to attempt that new question or how well you are going to reproduce the exact text. So you don't worry about the end result. You just keep in the hours to revise the subject and just devote the 3 to 4 months, because you study only once. Because as I tell, it's not an attempt, it's an exam. You will study only for once, and for those 3 months you need your social media, because everyone is busy in their own lives, and no social event, because cut those social event for 6 months and you will be presenting events like this. So you just cut down for 6 months, and next you can conduct events after your success. Then you can conduct the success parties and such things. And next, about household goals and relationships, like don't devote your time 200% to them, because just devote to 6 months and you have your 60 years to enjoy. Because as the chief guest told, he's been practicing 50 years. So just spend your 5 months and get that rank. Even after 60 years, you can tell that. So with that note, we'll revise after break. So I So when once make, like, we have a small announcement as part of SICASA.
Good evening, students. Good evening, students.
Good evening, sir.
యాక్టివిటీలో సర్వే అవ్వడం ఒకప్పుడు లేదు ఇప్పుడు లేదు. సో ఛాలెంజెస్ ఇప్పుడే వస్తాయి, కానీ ఉజ్వల్ థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ అంటే పాస్ అయిన వెంటనే ఇలాంటి ఒకటి పెట్టాలి, మన నేర్చుకునేది కూడా స్టూడెంట్స్కి ఉపయోగపడాలనేది మంచి ఆలోచన. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు అప్రిషియేట్. కమింగ్ టు ద టాపిక్, పాస్ అయిన వాళ్ళు ఎంతైనా మాట్లాడతారు. సేమ్ డైలాగ్ కదా, మీరు ఏది చెప్పినా సరే లాస్ట్ డైలాగ్ నుంచి వస్తుంది. పాస్ అయింది ఏమైనా మాట్లాడతారు. సో అన్నీ కాకపోయినా సరే వాళ్ళు 100 చెప్పారండి, 150 చెప్పారండి, అందులో ఉపయోగపడి ఒక 5 ఉంటాయి. సో 5 మీరు స్టూడెంట్ లెవెల్లో మనకు ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, ఎవరైనా చెప్తే మనం తీసుకొని మనం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయడానికి మనకు చాలా ఒప్పుకోదు అనమాట. అసలు నేను చేస్తున్నాను కదా, నేను చేస్తున్నాను కదా, సో నేను చేసింది నాకు సరిపోదు కదా, నేను డెవలప్ చేయమంటే డెవలప్ చెప్పేది అనుకుంటుంది. సో స్టూడెంట్ లెవెల్లో ఆ మెచ్యూరిటీ ఉందనుకోండి. సపోజ్ యూఆర్ లైకింగ్ సంథింగ్, somebody told you you are liking this one, స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్గా చెప్పట్లేదు, స్ట్రైట్ ఫార్వర్డ్గా చెప్పకూడదు కూడా. ఎప్పుడైనా నెగిటివ్ ఎప్పుడైనా సీక్రెట్గా చెప్పాలి, పాజిటివ్ ఎప్పుడైనా పబ్లిక్లో చెప్పాలి. అది మేనేజర్కి ఉన్న స్కిల్స్ అవన్నీ. సో మీకు పబ్లిక్లో చెప్పేటప్పుడు మీకు కనెక్ట్ అయితే అది ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయండి. ఒక 5 థింగ్స్. మీకు పాస్ అవ్వాలంటే మీ మైండ్ మీ కంట్రోల్లో ఉందనుకోండి, మీరు పెట్టుకోండి మీ దగ్గర. మీ మైండ్ మీ కంట్రోల్ లేదనుకోండి, తీసి పక్కన పడేయండి. ఒక 5 months బుక్స్లో మీరు ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలనుకుంటే, మీ మైండ్ మీ కంట్రోల్ లేదంటే తీసి పక్కన పెట్టేసి యూ విల్ డెఫినెట్లీ పాస్. యూపీఎస్సీ క్రాకర్స్ వాళ్ళందరూ ఎలా పాస్ అవుతారు అనుకుంటున్నారు? నంబర్ ఆఫ్ సిలబస్. యూపీఎస్సీ నీట్ కూడా మన సీఎంఏ ఫస్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్స్ తెలుసా మీకు? సో అది కూడా నంబర్ ఆఫ్ వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కువ చదవాలి. మనకైతే సిలబస్ రిస్ట్రిక్టెడ్, వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కడి నుంచి పెడతారో తెలియదు. సో అదే ఆ సింపుల్ ఫార్ములా తీసుకొని ఎవరైనా సపోజ్ యూజువల్ చాలా లాట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ చేయండి. సో అవి చేసి చెప్తున్నప్పుడు మీరు సమ్ పాయింట్ 2-3 పాయింట్స్ అంతే, మరీ ఎక్కువ అవసరం లేదు. అవన్నీ మనం నేర్చుకుంటారు, మనకి తెలుస్తాయి. సో సింపుల్ అంటే ఫోకస్ అనమాట. మన మైండ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే, మనం ఏదైనా చేసేటప్పుడు సపోజ్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ సమ్ టాపిక్, ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ మనం ఏదైనా ప్రిపరేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు, సపోజ్ PA ఫైనల్ ప్రిపరేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేటప్పుడు లర్నింగ్ ఇందాక అమరావు చెప్పారు, ఆయన చాలా 2 మార్కులు చాలా 100% వ్యాలిడ్. ఒకటి రన్నింగ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ అన్నారు. ఏది అటెంప్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ అవన్నీ కాదు, ప్రొఫెషనల్ అవ్వాలి, ప్రొఫెషనల్ కోసం చదవాలి, అది కరెక్ట్. అలాగైతేనే మీరు CA కమ్యూనిటీలో వెళ్ళగలరు. చాలామంది పాస్ అవుతారు, పాస్ అయినా సరే దే నాట్ బికమ్ సక్సెస్. When you are learning something, you can implement it practically, then only you can success. So మీ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఫస్ట్ టైం చేసేటప్పుడు మీరు 100% ఇవ్వాలి. ప్రిపేర్ అంటే లర్నింగ్ లాగా ఒకటి చేయగలరు, ఎగ్జామ్ ఓరియంటెడ్ కాకుండా. అండ్ కమ్స్ టు ఎగ్జామ్స్ యూ చేంజ్ ద స్ట్రాటజీ. మీకు తెలుస్తుంది కదా ఎలా పేపర్ ఇస్తున్నాడు, ఎలా స్కోర్ చేయాలి. సో అది ఉపయోగపడుతుంది, ఇది ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. దెన్ యూ విల్ సక్సెస్. మన ఇండియన్స్ అందరూ ప్లానింగ్ ఎలా చేస్తారంటే ఎవరు చేయగలరు కదా. అండ్ పక్కన ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ 10 తగ్గిపోతూ ఉంటుంది, లాస్ట్ 1 వచ్చేస్తాం. ఓకే, జపాన్ తెలుసా? జపాన్ వాళ్ళు ఎవరికి ఈగోస్ ఉండవు. ఎవరైనా ఒక ప్లానింగ్ తీసుకున్నారు అనుకోండి, వర్క్ చేయాలనుకోండి, ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసే టైంలో 100% మరి చాలా వాటిలో అది 100% వచ్చేలాగా చేస్తారు. ఆ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్లో తేడా రాకుండా ఈజీగా అక్కడే క్లియర్గా ఉండదు మైండ్. అంటే ఎక్కడికంటే అవ్వకుండా సింపుల్గా ఫస్ట్ ఇది అనుకున్నామంటే ఫినిష్ చేసి ఉండాలి. సపోజ్ మనం వర్క్ చేసేటప్పుడైనా సరే ఎక్కడైనా సరే, నేను ఒక్కొక్కసారి వర్క్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు నాకు ఎవరైనా మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు తెలియదు. అంటే అలా ఉండిపోతాను అనమాట, అంతే. అదొకటే చూస్తాను, నా మైండ్ ఇంకేం ఆలోచించదు. అలా ఉందనుకో, సపోజ్ వన్ టాపిక్ ఐ సెలెక్టెడ్ ఫర్ ది డే, నో అదర్ థాట్స్ ఇన్ యువర్ మైండ్ టు కంప్లీట్ దట్ టాపిక్ ఇన్ దట్ డే ఈజీలీ. ఇంకో ఏదో థాట్ వచ్చింది అనుకో మైండ్లోకి, అయిపోయింది అంతే. ఎవరు నీకు ఫోన్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, నువ్వు థింక్ చేసిన అయిపోయింది. సో అది ఆ మైండ్ ఆస్పెక్ట్లోనే ఈవినింగ్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఎ ప్రోగ్రామ్ 5:30. ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఉంటుంది జస్ట్ హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్. అది కూడా సమ్ టిప్స్ లాగే మీకు కూడా ఉపయోగపడుతుంది. హ్యాండ్లింగ్ ది వర్క్, హ్యాండ్లింగ్ ది స్ట్రెస్, సమ్ యాక్టివిటీస్, మైండ్ కంట్రోల్ చెప్పాను ఎవ్రీథింగ్. సపోజ్ నాకు ఒక ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్నాను, ఫ్రెండ్ ఫోన్ చేశాడు, ఆ ఫోన్ చేస్తే ಎಷ್ಟು అవుతుందని తెలుసు, లిఫ్ట్ చేస్తాడు. నువ్వు చెప్పాలి నేను లిఫ్ట్ చేయకూడదని చెప్పి తీసి పక్కన పెడితే చేశానంటే కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది. అది ఎప్పుడైనా మాట్లాడవచ్చు. ఒక డ్రైవింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఉండాలన్నమాట. సపోజ్ నేను ప్రిపేర్ అవుతున్నప్పుడు నా డ్రైవింగ్ ఫోర్స్ నేను ఎలాగైనా సరే కంప్లీట్ చేయాలి రిలేటెడ్. సో అప్పుడు నా మైండ్ చెప్తే అది మైండ్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఎప్పుడైతే నెగిటివ్ థాట్స్ వచ్చినా ఆ మైండ్కి అది వెళ్తుంది అనమాట. నువ్వు కంప్లీట్ చేయాలనుకున్నావు, సో దట్ యూ రిమూవ్ అండ్ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ ఆన్ దిస్ అని చెప్పేసి. సో అది ఆ డ్రైవింగ్ ఫోర్స్ ఉంటారు. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది పీపుల్ కంఫర్ట్ జోన్లో ఉంటారు, అంటే వాళ్ళకి స్ట్రెస్ ఉండదు అనమాట. సపోజ్ యువర్ కంఫర్ట్ గుడ్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్, సంబడి మీ పేరెంట్స్ కానీ ఇప్పుడు చెప్తూ ఉంటారు, సో మీ స్ట్రెస్ రిలీజ్ చేసుకున్నాను కనీసం మీ మైండ్ అది చెప్తూ ఉంటుంది నువ్వు పాస్ అవ్వాలి ఎలాగైనా సరే. సో అలా మీకు ఏదైనా లేకపోతే ఆ ఫోర్స్ మీరు పెట్టుకోండి, దగ్గరగా అందరికీ చెప్తూ ఉన్నాను నేను ఈసారి పాస్ అవుతాను అని చెప్తూ ఉంటే మీకు ఆ ఫీల్ వస్తుంది అనమాట. సో నేను పాస్ అయ్యాను కదా, చెప్పాను కదా అందరికీ పాస్ అవుతానని చెప్పాను కదా, సో నేను ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వాలి కదా అని చెప్తూ ఉంటుంది మైండ్కి. సో అలా చేస్తేనే మీరు అవుతారు. నేను చెప్పింది కూడా నేను సీఎం దగ్గర రివ్యూ చేస్తాను, మీరు పాస్ అవుతారు కదా సార్. నేను ఇంటర్మీడియట్ 3 days రాశాను, కానీ ఫైనల్ నేను ఇంటర్మీడియట్ 3 to 4 attempts ఫైనల్ నేను గట్టిగా ఫిక్స్ అయ్యాను. ఐ డోంట్ షుడ్ నాట్ టేక్ చాయిస్. అప్పుడు 1 attempt జస్ట్ మిస్డ్, నెక్స్ట్ అటెంప్ట్ ఐ పాస్. ఎందుకంటే చేంజ్ ఉంది కదా, చేంజ్ ఉంటేనే రిజల్ట్ ఉంటుంది, చేంజ్ ఉంటేనే ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది, చేంజ్ ఉంటేనే ఏదైనా కొత్త బయటకు వస్తుంది. ఏదో ప్రొడక్ట్ ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ సిఏ ప్రొడక్ట్. సో అది మీరు ఏదైనా మీరు సపోజ్ ఇవన్నీ మీకు తెలిసి ఉండొచ్చు, కానీ కొత్త పాయింట్లు ఎక్కడైనా సపోజ్ మీకు ఇది కొత్తది ఇదేమైనా బాగుంటుంది ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తాను అనుకోండి, 2-3 points టేక్ ఇట్ డౌన్. చాలా అది మీకు మీరు ఈరోజు పడుతున్నప్పుడు కూడా మీరు ఒక మీ షెడ్యూల్ ప్రిపేర్ చేసినప్పుడు కన్సిడర్ చేస్తారు. సో దట్స్ ఇట్. మీ ఈవినింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మాత్రం నేనే మిమ్మల్ని తోసుకెళ్తున్నాను, బట్ అటెండ్ అయితే దీని తర్వాత ఇది మంచిదని చెప్తున్నాను. నేను ఏదైతే గోల్స్ చెప్పానో అవన్నీ ఆ మేడం కొంచెం ప్రాక్టికల్గా కొంచెం యాక్టివిటీస్తో మీరు అందరిలో మనుషులే, మీరు చదవగలరు, మీరు పాస్ అవ్వగలరని ఒకసారి గుర్తు చేస్తారు అంతే. సో దట్స్ ఇట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
If you have any questions, you can ask. So for FR we choose Chiranjeev Jain sir because we took classes 1.5 years before. So upward trend of Chiranjeev Jain sir. ASM Bhavik sir. Audit we have Sriram Harsha or Shubham Keshwal. DT Barnagora sir, IDT Ramesh sir.
IBS no better. We can do it on yourself. అంటే ఇప్పుడు అలా 5 years చదువుతారు, ఆ 5 years చదివిన దానికి ఇన్ఫార్మ్ అన్నట్టు తెలుసు, అంటే ఏది ఎక్కడ ఉందో తెలిస్తే చాలా. సో సెపరేట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ అయితే అవసరం లేదు.
అంటే ఎవరైనా చెప్పిన కూడా డోంట్ గో ఫర్ ద ఫ్యాకల్టీ, ఎందుకంటే IBS అంటే అన్ని కలిపి ఉంటాయి కానీ ఈచ్ క్వశ్చన్ హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద సమ్. అంటే క్వశ్చన్ ఒక పేరా ఏకం సమ్ అంతే, క్వశ్చన్ ఒక పేరా ఎఫర్ సమ్ అంతే. సో క్వశ్చన్ అంతా ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసేది బికాస్ వాళ్ళు కూడా సిఏ ఎగ్జామ్ బాగా చాలా రోజులు వేసారు కాబట్టి. సో ఐబిఎస్ ఇస్ జస్ట్ ఆల్ ద పేపర్స్ ఎట్ వన్స్ అంతే. బట్ ఒక క్వశ్చన్లో లైక్ ఈచ్ పేరా మీద అన్ని క్వశ్చన్ అంటే ఉండవు. వన్ పేరా ఇస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు వన్ సబ్జెక్ట్, వన్ పేరా ఇస్ రిలేటెడ్ టు వన్ సబ్జెక్ట్ అంతే. సో యూ డోంట్ గో ఫర్ అనదర్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఫర్ ఐబిఎస్. అంటే అంత ప్రిపరేషన్ పెట్టలేదు. ఫోకస్ ఆన్ రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది పేపర్స్ సో దట్ ఐబిఎస్ విల్ బికమ్ ఈజీ. అంటే ఐబిఎస్ మళ్ళీ ఈజీ చేసుకోవాలనేసి మళ్ళీ మిగతా వాళ్ళు చూపించారు. సో ఇఫ్ యూ ప్రిపేర్ సో దట్ అదర్ పేపర్స్ విల్ బికమ్ ఈజీ, దెన్ ఐబిఎస్ కాన్సిక్వెంట్లీ బికమ్స్ ఈజీ. So that's the faculty, and the faculty changes from time to time. And if you see like some famous faculty like Harshad Jaju or C. Anand Banglia or the Swapnil Bhatt classes, if you see that they have the highest views of inactive 0.5 years back. But at present they are almost very less views. Like at max they can gain up to 50k views. That's it. But before COVID, they have maximum amount of views. So the faculty changes from time to time because at present how the ICA drafts the questions and how the faculty is teaching will link. Then the faculty will become famous. So focus on the faculty, like who is very popular among the students. Because why did he become popular? Because he is giving the results. That's why he is becoming popular. So select the faculty, stick to him. Because even if you don't like the way he teaches, you stick with him. Because through his teaching he is getting the results. So you do adapt to him. Rather than choosing you choosing the faculty, you can choose the faculty, but you can't choose how to prepare, right? Because the top faculty chooses how to prepare so that he can get the results. So choose a top faculty whenever you are giving the exam. So as of now, in many subjects, the faculty going to going outdated. Like for FR, Chiranjeev Jain sir is outdated, and we have Akash Kandoy sir, Bhagam Chokshi sir at present for final. So don't take advices from your seniors. So take advice from immediate seniors. So they will guide you about number of hours or exact time when you need to take classes. For suppose DT and IDT. My senior told me like for May exam, Jan 5th, Ramesh sir launches the batch of 10 days. So that's exactly the batch you should be taking. So connecting your immediate senior is much more useful than surfing to YouTube or discover yourself. Because your immediate senior can give how he prepare. Like for suppose if your senior tells this particular faculty and you find one topic difficult, and if you ask your senior, and he might also have found the same topic difficult, and he might have referred some other book. So in such a way, senior will also able to answer follow-up questions if you take faculty which your senior suggested. So contact your immediate senior in your office or your immediate senior who just passed out, rather than contact someone who passed out like 2 or 3 attempts before. So that would help you out regarding the faculties. And next, moving on, we have the revisions.
So revision చేసినప్పుడు ఏంటంటే preparation first time complete cheste revision, then it will be easy. So at least we recommend 2 to 3 revisions. Endukante just exam ki revise cheste like you will get confidence first thing. And if you see the same sum 2 or 3 times, if you say the same concept 2 or 3 times, you will get the confidence. I know this concept. Like in the first revision, you will get to know what are the concepts and things, and you can also get the chance to link the concept. Like coming to GST, everything is a flow. It's not a part, it's part, right? It's like it's a flow. Ante ఇప్పుడు ఒక సప్లై చేసిన what is the supply నుంచి and payment of the tax work, and it's everything is connected. So మీ రివిజన్ లో కనెక్ట్ చేశారంటే like it will be you will be remembering అన్నమాట. అంతే మళ్ళీ సెపరేట్ గా యాడ్ చేయాల్సింది కానీ లేకపోతే what are the important points అని రాసుకోవాలి. If you know the process, if you understand the process, it becomes easy. So revision లో ఏంటంటే ప్రాసెస్ అండర్స్టాండ్ చేసుకోవడం like one thing you should do, and you need to link అన్నమాట. అంటే ఎక్కడో లింక్ అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఆడిట్లోకి కంపెనీస్ అట్ లింక్ అవ్వచ్చు, ఆడిట్లో లైక్ ఎఫ్ఆర్ కన్నా లింక్ అవ్వచ్చు, కన్సాలిడేషన్ కానీ లైక్ కమింగ్ టు ఫైనల్ ఏదైనా లింక్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అండ్ ఎంటీపీస్ ఆర్టీపీస్ చేయాలి ఖచ్చితంగా. లైక్ దే ఆర్ ద లాస్ట్ అంటే ఎంటీపీస్కి వచ్చేసరికి లైక్ యూ మే ఫీల్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ డిమోటివేటెడ్ బికాస్ all tough questions will be in RTP, like it's how it goes. కానీ RTPs are not like final question papers, so demotivate our if you get new questions from RTPs.
So So basically, while revising, as I told, revising is something you are revisiting a concept. So what basically our mind does, like you are doing RT or MTPs. Like when do we revise? Revise just 1 or 2 months before the exam, and we do first RTPs and MTPs. We think that as revision, and of course RTPs and MTPs would be tough. And next, what we are not getting those sums in revision, which we think it as revision, because we think like last two or 3 months what we do, it is a revision. No, but revision is after you doing once, again revisiting is revision. Not after preparation of everything, then you go for revision 2-3 months. No, that's not revision. Doing one sum, again going to that sum is revision. But what we generally do is last 2-3 months will become the new sums. And we think in revision we are not going to not being able to do the sums. Then our brain tells that we are not going to clear the exam, because we are picking up new sums in revision, which is not the purpose of revision, the word itself. So don't pick up new sums in revision. Be familiar with the sums you already do, because we are just preparing for the 1.5 days which are before the exams. So if you could do major sums and boil down, filter down all the sums to just so much sums that you could do all those sums which you picked up just 1.5 days before the exam, then you are going to crack any exam. So just 1.5 days before exam, you are going to remember all the formulas. If you do a particular sum of questions, which we will share later. So in revision, what you are going to do is, your main thing is prepare for the 1.5 days, not for the exam itself. Because for exam, you have many revisions before. Because if you are writing for May and you are starting revision February, your main focus should not be to memorize the thing. Your main focus should be like how to understand, as my friend told, how to understand the concept and how fast you can recall the concept. So that should be your main focus while doing revision. So next we have revision. Many of us feel like we get a new sum. Like at the last revision we get a new sum. Like 5 marks, 14 marks, the IDT sum we get, some new topic in that. We will think that we are not able to pass. Just remember, you just have to score 50%. So in the last revision, if you just leave half the doubts, you are going to pass. So half the doubts, you don't worry about half the doubts. If you are going to solve half the doubts, you are going to crack the exam. But if you want to get the algebra or top marks, you should be able to solve all the doubts you are going to get. So leaving some doubts unaddressed will let you pass in the last revision. But in your first revisions, be sure that solve every doubt you have, because this is the first revision. You are going to do that sum again and again. Again you will come across the same doubt in 2 or 3 revisions after also. So in first revision, clarify all your doubts, and second revision, if any doubts come, make sure that you are clarifying major of the doubts. Don't just be stressed out about one particular topic if you address it in the last revision. So in last revision, be sure that you leave 50% of topics, because we can't cover the whole syllabus of IDT. Because as I said, the faculties and IC itself leaves some few topics. So even the faculties in some cases won't be able to answer the questions. So we are not experts when coming to the last revision. So as I told, revision just how to recollect, because in exam 3 hours you should be able to recollect the subject. You will be memorizing, okay, but you should be so fast that you should recollect, and you should think which questions to answer, you should think which sections to answer and which sections to code, which case laws to code. So if I tell you one particular section, if I tell you ITC in IDT, you will think about section 16 if you remember correctly. And if I tell RCM, what does anybody remember? RCM. Reversal mechanics. But if you are not doing CFI or CA enter, and if you are into the audit domain, which RCM means risk control matrix, which we do in our audit. So RCM is 2 different things entirely. Reversal mechanism and risk control matrix. But most of you are able to record reverse charge mechanism because we familiarize with it. So make yourself familiarize with those sums in the last revisions. So that's what revision purpose is. Not just memorizing the thing. Able to recall the particular sum. Okay, like if I tell one concept, you'll be able to recall like what are the things in it. So that's what revision is. You should revise for the last 1.5 days. You boil down so much that first revision takes 3 days, next revision 2 days, then last revision take 1 day, and keep them on 1.5 day for buffer. So we'll focus next on how to make notes. So major thing is mock test. So I'll tell you a small thing of mock test. Many people tell like should we write a mock test? No, that's a ridiculous question. like you are going to exam and you are asking like should I carry the hall ticket? Like it's a ridiculous question to ask. So the same thing as mock test. We take like taking simple things like hall ticket is necessary, but we don't think mock tests are necessary. It's a major fault. So because I will tell you, like advanced editing exam, all of us have written. Like if you are advanced, if you have done advanced editing or writing, you have written the exam and got the certificate. You paid 7,500 for that one certificate, which most of us won't even quote in our resumes. But we have NISL, National Institute of Securities Market. It offers 30 plus courses with just 3,000 as basic fees. So we can even quote this like for resumes for investment banking sectors. All we can even quote these certificates. But still we are not quoting. Why? Because ICASA advanced editing course is mandatory course, which you are paying hefty of fees when compared to NISL fees. But NISL is an option, so we are just leaving it out. So if you are taking mandatory course, which is it doesn't even add value to your course. Like if you take advanced editing, if you do from Visakhapatnam branch, it may not add value to your soft skills or your technical skills. So for that we are paying 7,500, keeping 15 days aside, and 15 days in a CS line is very important. So 15 days aside to complete it. But why are you not doing the same for mock test? Why are you keeping mock test as a side option? If you have time, I will write that. No, create the time. Because if I tell you that if you have time, do the advanced editing, no one does. Because paying 7,500 and doing it optional, we majorly don't do it. So what I tell is make mock test a compulsory. And why should you write mock test? So mock tests are not just whether you have scored subjectual, conceptual understanding or those things. The mock test, I'll tell you one objective is mock test, like time management. That's the only objective of a mock test. Because in exam we will discuss how you should allocate the time. But for a cricket, if many of us are Indians are cricket fans, so without net practice there is no cricket match. And in mock test also we should allocate the time. And in a high pressure, we know how to write if you have consequent mock test. So next after mock test we have the 1.5 day revision.
And mock tests, like the points you need to remember is don't get demotivated by the marks what you get in the mock test. I mean just for the time management and self-assessment, like the various and revise test number. If you look at the sum, you may feel like it is easy like, and you will just skip on it. The same sum will come into that mock test, you will not be able to answer it. So alanti questions ala emaina you skip chesthe alantivanni meeku chuskoవడం ఉంటుంది. అంటే like keep marks aside in the mock test. అంటే ఇప్పుడు if you get an 80, you may think like I got 80 marks and like I don't need to revise it or I don't need to see it, and that's where you fell prey to the ICI, because no one corrects as similar to the ICI or the respective board. And so just like time management was అంటే ఇప్పుడు strategies form చేయడానికి డైరెక్ట్గా మీరు ఒక ఎగ్జామ్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఫస్ట్ కంపల్సరీ క్వశ్చన్ రాయాలి, లేకపోతే like remaining questions రాయాలంటే like you will get an understanding. So we have first question is compulsory and those are lengthy. So mock test రాసుకుని మీరు అసెస్ చేసుకోవాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఈ క్వశ్చన్తో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే టైం సరిపోతుందా. Like mock test helped us to attempt 100 marks in the exam. So if how tough the paper is, like 100 marks ki raste at least 40 or so, like you have prepared very hard for the 3-4 months, and if you write 100 marks you will get 40 marks in that tough paper. Like we don't know which paper is tough. So time management and strategies formulating mock test just I want to add that point. And 1.5 days I say this is 1.5 days before exam is very important. Anyway, you need to what you write in your exam depends on how much you can cover in those 1.5 days you have. So major concepts are the first complete just, and while you revise, one major thing you need to do is mark last day revision. Some questions will have that major adjustments or points which you need to see before the day you go to the exam. And then like there's no normal adjustments. If you income tax computation చేసినప్పుడు depreciation as per companies act యాడ్ చేస్తాము, and IT అనేది డిడక్ట్ అలౌ చేస్తాం. సో ఆ అడ్జస్ట్మెంట్స్ you know, and you just not need to see day before exam. But కొన్ని special adjustments ఉంటాయి that you need to see before going to the exam, which may help you in the exam. So అవి అలాంటివి మార్క్ చేసుకోవాలి, మార్క్ లాస్ట్ డే రివిజన్ పాయింట్స్. అండ్ Important questions will be shared by the faculty. Important, I say, doesn't follow the concept of important questions. So just like cover as much as possible and go. And don't become night owls. Rest is very, very important. रात्रि 1 or 2 वరకు చదివి నెక్స్ట్ ఎగ్జామ్ వల్ల 2 o'clock కి బాగా తినేసి పడుకుంటే ఎగ్జామ్ మీద రాయాలి. So don't become night owls. Have proper sleep. Take care of your health. 1.5 days అంత ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆ 3 hours మీరు కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ తో ఉండడం కూడా అంత ఇంపార్టెంట్. అండ్ బీ కామ్ అండ్ ప్రెజెంట్ అండ్ టెన్షన్ తీసుకోకండి. ఎందుకంటే 3 hours లో your brain should work. And you should recall all the concepts related to the question which you are answering in the exams. And remember all every adjustments. Like every subject is adjustments based on it. You need to do all the adjustments to arrive at the right answer. So clear concentration unalante, you need to have proper sleep. So don't get tensed and go sleepless nights for the exam. Have proper sleep and don't touch new sums. 1 first ముందు 3 months లోనే ఏ క్వశ్చన్ టచ్ చేయకుండా ఫస్ట్ డే నుంచి క్వశ్చన్ టచ్ చేస్తే యువర్ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ విల్ ఆల్సో సేవ్ హై. సో కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ ఉండాలంటే కొత్త క్వశ్చన్స్ చూడకండి. ఎగ్జామ్లో వస్తే చాయిస్ ఉంది వదిలేయచ్చు.
So regarding the 1.5 days, so what we should do in 1.5 days? Like I have a small plan for advanced financial management. So if you see, like these are the sums which I did in the 1.5 days. I scored 72 in AFL by doing just this. I don't know how many sums, but if you see the chapter, you have to just doing those 10 sums out of all the sums. So just doing these sums, I scored 70. Because like these sums are not the concept fillers; they are just the top sums that anyone could ask. So you prepare. This is my list, and I didn't share my list with my friend because he might have some questions, and I also might have some questions, which I think I know perfectly. And if I increase my number of questions, I won't be able to cover those many questions in 1.5 days. So that's also a drawback. So prepare your own set of questions. So if you see valuations, so I have divided valuation to 3 types: money markets and bond valuation and equity valuation. So in money markets, we have only 4 types of questions, which is buybacks and convertibles and the repo rates and miscellaneous. So you should divide in such a way that if I tell you equity valuation, you should be able to tell how many types of questions that come from the chapter. If you ask faculty also, you will be able to tell. Like equity valuation, these many types of sums. Risk management, only one type of sum which comes in exams. So in such a way, you should divide your 1.5 days ka sums, because what to do by hand is what majorly goes into your brain in those 1.5 days. Because if you generally skip through the sums, you just see the main points and you don't know how to recollect the sum. So doing these sums helps you in last days. It may be IDT or DT or AHM or FR. Like do the sums in the 1.5 days. That's a great advice anyone would give, because majorly we just skip through the sums. But doing it will give us the mentality to mindset to go to that exam, because we'll be writing FR, which is a theory cum practical subject, and next AFM, which is a pure practical subject. So if you go to AFM without doing sums, you'll be still stuck up in the FR mindset, which is writing the theory. So if you write one number, you have to write 5 lines of theory for FR, and if you do the same thing for AFM, you are going to fail. So you have to set your mindset for each exam. How can you do that? By revising sums. So this is the number of sums which I did for my AFM practically. So this is based on my past professor's question bank. So I am sharing the link at the end. You can prepare. You can add this to your large revision also. So if you see, like in the chapter like derivatives, I just did only 10 questions in total. So those will be enough for the last 1.5 days, because you need not do the heaviest sum in the last 1.5 days, because that won't come to an exam also. So that's it regarding the FR thing for 1.5 days. And we have many things, we have many factors. Like for IDT, the Akashwani sir releases the questions which I have done in 1.5 days. So you can curate it further by adding your personal questions to it, which you felt difficult, which the faculty felt difficult, and which you felt easy. You can remove those questions itself. So prepare your 1.5 days strategy before itself, not in those 1.5 days. So that's regarding the 1.5 days, because you can't, like a robot, you can't scan all the sums. So just focus on those particular questions. So any questions regarding 1.5?
What to do for audit?
So okay, so for audit, so audit is like common sense put in lot element is audit. So if I tell you a paper, if I tell my friend gave me that a paper telling that I owe him 50 rupees, what is it? It's just a paper, a confirmation. We call it external confirmation as SF505. It's just a common sense put into lot terminology is audit. That's it. So audit, what you should do is, if I tell you an essay, you should be able to tell end to end what is an essay. Regarding, if I tell essay to tell, you will be able to recollect that accepting and continuing an engagement, audit engagement. So in that, up to a level is covered in intermediate and few points extra covered in CA final. So you should draft it like a story, like where you are going to start, where you are going to end. So for suppose for audit, if I tell it's common sense, I will give you a best example. If you take May 25 plus CA final exam answer date, you will see one answer. Like they asked, what is the wordings of an opinion? Like opinion, even my customer. They asked exact wordings of an opinion. That's also an assurance type of assignment for opinion. So assurance assignments for opinion will be negatively worded. It won't be worded like I give a true and fair view. It will use a wording like I couldn't find anything to the contrary that I am not able to give a true and fair view. So in such a way it gives the opinion. So what is asked in our exam was give a qualified opinion on assurance type of engagement. So give a negative opinion or a negatively worded opinion. So negative, it's a positive answer. So it is just a common sense doing its work, not just by heart thinking. So if you see the suggestion answer, that's just what is written there. It's just a normal audit opinion. That's it, not an assurance opinion. So that's what I'm telling. If you just keep your mind in a common sense mode, not just by heart thinking, just keep it open to all the possibilities that could come, then you can easily crack the audit paper. Because like giving a qualified opinion, wording exactly in a assurance assignment, giving a qualified opinion ka wording for an assurance assignment in an exam is very difficult. If you go by heart, but just common sense, you can easily know the wording of an audit report. Because everyone knows the wording of an audit opinion. To fair view or for fair presentation or for general, we will give it as in compliance with the applicable reporting framework. So this is what is gives you 4 marks. But they drafted it so elaborate way, like qualified opinion of an assurance assignment. No one knows it. But it just boils down to the same opinion which you know. That's it. So audit, I will tell you, don't mug up the sums, mug up the theory. Just use your vocabulary and common sense. That will do the job.
So what did you do in the last 1.5?
1.5 is I just revise the every story. Like essay 210 we have one story, essay 500 we have one story. So because quoting the essays is very main thing. As I told, it's just common sense. If you write common sense on paper, it will sound rubbish. So what we do, just quote the essay numbers. That's it. So 1.5 is read everything. That's it in a conceptualized and a rational manner, not just by hearting the things. That's especially for audit in the last 1.5 days. Because I'll also share the charts in the same thing which I will giving end. Because I prepared charts for almost all the essays in audit. So that if you recall that one chart the day before the exam, and in exam if a particular essay comes, you will know exactly where that particular topic stands there in respect to that essay. So that will be very easy. Like for suppose if I tell you one topic, and you should know which essay it comes from. So you should cover the essay exhaustively. Like you should know what an essay you can state it exhaustively, because each and every point in essay you should cover. Because if you don't cover one point as I told earlier, it's no use of covering the rest of the points if that one point is asked in exam. So that's my strategy regarding audit, and I will upload all my charts which I have done for audit. Because after one revision we will do a chart of 3 pages. After 4 revision we will do a chart of 1 page. That's very important. So I have done a chart of 1 page, which will take you 3 or 4 revisions. So if I give my chart, you will be 3 or 4 revisions ahead. You need not prepare again from the base. Right? So that's regarding audit. And last thing we have what you should do in the exam hall. So these points will be explained. But I will tell you one thing. Majority of us will think that for 100 marks we have 180 minutes. So for each mark we have 1.8 minutes. So before you start the sum, you will think, okay, the sum is 4 marks, and you will think, okay, 4 into 1.8, okay, 20 minutes, 20 seconds over that calculation and keeping the timer. So my major mindset is you have 5 questions, 6 questions, you have to answer only 5. So allocate 30 minutes to each question. However tough that question may be, however lengthy that question may be, allocate 30 minutes for that question. Because 30 minutes for each question will give you 2.5 hours, and only half an hour is left for your bits. Bits is more than enough, because if you keep your bits at the first, you will be answering for 30 marks whole 1 hour, because you will be able to like, I have to get this bit perfect. You will be answering in such a manner. But if you keep that last 30 minutes to your bits, you will be answering in a much more efficient manner, because you know how our brains work in the last 30 minutes of our exam. So keep your bits at the last, and 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours to give for the 5 questions. And as I told, in our audit exam, like what happened, like I lost time in some questions because I attempted 3 questions for just 2 hours. So I should attempt still 2 questions in half an hour. So that was my perspective. So when I saw the time, it's already 4 o'clock, and I left with 2 questions. So if I ideally calculate each question is 14 into 14 into 2 is 20, and 20 into 1.8, I should be calculating that, and 2 minutes is gone in there. So what's my strategy is, in 30 minutes I should answer 2 questions, which is double the speed. So I should cut down my answer by 50%. So that's how you should calculate in exam, because exam you should think and do this time tracking simultaneously, which is a massive task if you skip the mock test. So in mock test you will be able to get this, because seriously I scored just 50% DT, but still that's an exception, because I attempted 120 marks for DT, like I attempted the whole question paper, but still I scored 50% of what I attempted, but still it's an exception, because that's how you should write an SEA exam, like attempt everything and write the best. So you will score based on what you attempted. So time management is very crucial in those 3 hours which ICA allocates. So try to cover everything in the 3 hours which ICA allocates, and these are the things which my friend will discuss.
So writing the exam is different level. What you do in these 6 months is one night, and the exam on 3 hours is another big step you need to take, and you need to be careful, and you need to know your time, what you are giving to each question. You need to know which question you are answering. Sometimes you may lost in the writing answer, like you will go back and search what is the question actually. So that should be attentive. You should be time management and everything you need to do, and stop preparation by 1 p.m. So if you are writing exam from 2 p.m., stop by 1 p.m. So like, you need to be pleasant and calm. Don't be tensed and don't be rushed. Exam your brain need to work. You have to recollect the concepts or to write the answer perfectly. Your brain needs to work. Brain need to work effectively. You need to stop preparation by 1 p.m. and be calm and pleasant. Don't think it's an ICA exam. It's like another exam you're writing, just like any other exam. So that reduces the exam pressure what you will be having. ఎందుకంటే మనం ఇప్పుడు 130 వరకు నేను చదువుతాను, నాకు గుర్తుంటుందంటే ఆ 30 మినిట్స్లో మీరు కంగారుగా పేజీలు చెప్పలేదు తప్ప గుర్తుండేది ఏమీ ఉండదు.
ఎందుకంటే also be forgetting what you read before also.
Like what you remember and what you know very good in by revising those 2 months, that hurry in the 30 minutes will banish everything what's there in your brain. So 30 minutes 130 వరకు నేను చదవాలి ఎగ్జామ్లో రాసిస్తానంటే ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ గుడ్ ఐడియా. అండ్ సో 1 o'clock అదేంటి what you don't lose anything rather than preparing in those 2 months. And you will not prepare more than what you prepared in those 2 months in those 30 minutes.
But preparing in last 30 minutes, you will be losing than gaining.
Yeah. So reach exam hall 5 minutes early.
So just 5 minutes, not 10 minutes early. Because by reaching just 5 minutes early, you avoid the gossip. Because seriously, I didn't know like my friend is in the same exam center before until the last exam. Because I would reach after everyone goes into the exam hall, and I will leave before everyone comes out of the exam hall, because my time management is so perfect. Like exam I should complete as I told before 5 minutes only for 120 marks. So reach exam hall just 5 minutes early, so that you won't engage in unnecessary gossip. Because some friend tells us prepare, like be mindful about what you're doing, what you're going to do in the next 3 hours. You are going to do IIT, take for an IIT exam, so be present in that moment. Because we're going to such a hurry, like you are recollecting all the questions. No, you should not be in such a way. You should stop preparing. You should start answering. In those 2 minutes also, you start like, okay, now I am going to answer, not prepare. So in such a manner, you should be settling in the exam hall. Because for next 3 hours, you are going to be busy by thinking. So give your brain a pause before the exam. And next, if you are not getting a sum in 30 minutes as I told, leave that stuff because we have to win the war, not the battle. So the exam is the war which we are focusing on. So the battle is just that one question. If you don't get question, you have 5 more questions. For 6 questions, if you don't get one question, you have 5 more questions. In each question, you have sub questions also. So if you don't get the question, move on to the next. And if you have time, you come to the question again. So that's a major thing which I discovered in my exam because I used to type out some questions because if the time gets over, I used to leave to other pages. And if the next questions are easy, I will easily come back to the next question because only one saying that I follow. That's the only thing that keeps exactly what you should be writing in an exam. Because you should not leave what you know and you should not write what you don't know. If you write what you don't know, you will not be able to write what you know. And if you don't write what you know, how will you get 2 marks? So that's the thing for exam halls.
So exam only, like if you get any question paper or any subject paper tough, like obviously out of the 6 from each group at least one paper will be tough. So don't panic if you get a tough paper. Like just be prepared in a way that I would like to quote an example, like if Chandeshwar Pujara is there, or like if you have good cricket knowledge, so he's good at test cricket. So if he plays any T20 or ODI, boom, it's just he doesn't score anymore. But if it's test cricket, he just nails it. So like don't be like Chandeshwar Pujara, who is good only in one subject or one paper or one test format. So be like someone is like Kohli or Dhoni, like whichever format they play, they just nail it in every format. So like whatever the paper you write, you just need to nail it and be it tough or easy. Like you just need to nail the exam, that's it. So be good with all the subjects and the things you need to do is getting the perfection or knowing everything, like whatever the level of tough may be in the exam what you see, you should be in a way, you should be revised, you should be prepared in a way that at least you need to get 40. So 40 is the pass mark rate. So aggregate you can get from another paper, but whatever the toughness you get, it's 40. Getting 40 is the main thing, and so concentrate in that way. If your brain gets blank by seeing the question papers, and you may face this situation sometimes. And post exam. So the real drama happens here after the exam, after attending those pressureful 3 hours. So what is the question paper? How is the question paper? Which question will you write? So all these questions after coming out of the exam, you will be discussing with friends, which you should avoid.
Because it's up to you whether you avoid or not. Because if you get one question in exam hall and you don't get it right, you are very confused about the answer, and you come out and you leave that question. And a client comes and asks you about the question, like not the question, but the practical aspect of that question for BT or IIT, and you don't know it because you left it for exam and you left it after the exam also. So that should not be the case. So for some exams, like I contacted him after writing exam, but like tell me this answer because I am such a confident. Even if I lose this question, I will score 50%. You should be in such a perfection that you will score 50%. And if you are in that mindset, you can go and see the suggested answers and listen with your friends. But don't let the answer affect you. If you are thinking that if the answer will affect you, then you should not go and discuss the answers. So you can discuss the answers because after writing the exam also, you are a chartered accountant and you should be knowing the answer. So people expect you to know the answer for some question if after you clear this year. So after clearing, like in trading they will tell risk the money you are afford to lose. So you can only risk the money how much you are afford to lose because I can't risk a lakh and lose it. So we should risk only the money which you are afford to lose. So the same way you can only ask the question which doesn't affect you mentally for the next exam. So you can discuss the questions, but don't discuss too many questions that will make you think that you are going to lose the paper. So you can discuss, but avoid more discussions about it. And also throw your question papers away because what happened in my exam was like I wrote one section 143 subsection 2 in audit. In law I wrote the section Companies Act, and but the section was 143A. 2A, 142 actually the section, but what I wrote was 143 2A. So but that was a grave mistake. But I came across this when I studied the audit paper because in CA inter we have the auditing and companies like a bit interchanging when it comes to the auditor's part. So if you solve the question on static, you won't be able to retrieve them during the exams also. So that's a great way to deal with, because something comes across while you're studying the next paper. You think like, whether did I answer this question correctly or not? So that's just a thought, as I mentioned earlier. You going again to that paper and again turning the pages, is you are spending the time on the thought, which is unnecessary thing. After the exam is done, so just throw the question paper, because when you throw the question paper, you don't have the ability to go again. Even if you're willing, you don't have the ability to go again. So that's the best way. And also take gap after the exams. And social media or YouTube is not a gap. That's just your brain is also processing the information which is shown on social media. So that's not a gap. So gap is just sleeping or just taking a quiet walk. So as I told, keeping your mind present is the main thing after an exam, because you should prepare for the next exam. So that's a major thing you should be doing after the exam. And after the exams, what you should be doing, my friend will tell.
So, one more thing is, don't analyze and question papers and don't evaluate your answers. That's ICS or your institute set job. And one more thing is, you can also choose to write other professional courses like CMA or CS. And if you check, then the syllabus will be mostly common and some new topics will be there. So the pursuing other professional courses will be an added advantage in the competitive world. So you can either pursue CMA or CS, and you can also write NISM certification examinations. So these are useful in your career, like post achieving post CA, and you can also increase your resume weight by getting certified. And practical tips: maintain 3 notebooks, which are a daily schedule, daily and 20 minutes writing practice. So I want to just writing practice, like even if you write exams, there will be one week or 10 days gap where you write your last exam and then the main exam, and your hand will be forgetting to write. Actually, nowadays we are used to the laptops. Like if we see our handwriting is this, how we write, we'll get that down. So writing practice is also an important thing, like to achieve the speed or to get the good handwriting and also. So 20 minutes daily writing practice should be there, and the daily schedule. So you need to maintain a daily, like whenever you feel you get distracted, if the maintaining the daily scheduled book will help you to get back on the track. Like when you today if you have written like I have covered these topics, I have done this thing, and tomorrow if you get distracted, if you write the same in the daily schedule daily, so you will get like you are going off the track, or it's not the thing what I should do to achieve what I want to. So those the daily schedule, daily diary will keep you to go on track and keep a track on what you do. Like in those preparation and revision days, you will be like whether I did this thing, whether I did revise the topic. Like you may go lost in those preparation. So keeping daily schedule and daily diary keeps you to go on track and keep a note of what things you are doing.
This is something which I developed. Like this 3 notebooks thing is not, you won't find it anywhere else, because it's something that I practice and I followed it. Like let me show you some examples. Like the 20 minutes thing which my friend told. Because I tell you to write for 20 minutes writing practice daily, because at any point of your time in an exam, you won't be writing continuously for 20 minutes. So as I told, each question is 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes, you will read the next question. So your hand is getting a break. So for performing your hand, you should have the physical ability to perform also. So you should be able to sit for 3 hours, which is easy. But you should be able to write continuously for 20 minutes, which you will not be able to write. So this is something which I wrote every 20 minutes. On 14th of April, I started writing at 10:30 and I completed 2 pages by 10:30. So that took around 15 minutes to write. But if you see the next page, I wrote 21 minutes. This is the before thing which I wrote 21 minutes. I took 21 minutes to write just 2 pages. But after 2 days, I just took 15 minutes to write 2 pages. So it's a practical proven tip that improves your writing. So like you are preparing for 6 months after or 2 years after, but just keep in touch with writing, not just writing exams. Keep in touch with writing, because as you see, my handwriting is rubbish, but still I got this is audit and this is also audit, but still I got 50% audit also. So that's what I'm telling you. 20 minutes, as I showed you, this is practical that improves.
How much you got in auditing?
46.
That one's enough, yeah.
So
I got 40 marks in auditing.
that's what I'm trying to say. It's just 40 marks. So regarding the schedule, you can prepare schedule something like this. Your schedule is not with the picture perfectly. This was my schedule every day. This was my schedule for 9th of April, followed by 10th of April. So this is something which I will write the day before, like what I should be doing. So for international financial management, I should be doing these all questions the day before, type writing, and the day after what I did and what's the pending thing. So that was my schedule, like keep a notebook so that you prepare all these schedules. And our brain forgets many things because even top people doubt themselves when it comes because you don't have a physical thing that knows that you're able to do this thing. Because for suppose I sit for an interview and why do they check the resumes or achievements? Because after interview there is nothing to do with those things. Because after interview, after going to practical life, they won't be giving you a question paper and they ask you to solve it, or they don't give you an Excel formula and they tell you to solve it. But after interview, you will go to practical level and there will be practical problems. But based on your past achievements, the interviewer will analyze whether you will be able to tackle the future problems also. So based on your past achievements, he is focusing whether you are able to tackle the future things or not. So this diary helps you to keep track of the past things because your brain tends to forget. It tends to forget your great things like Lord Hanuman. He is just inferiority complex which he has. But when someone describes himself, the strengths he has, he will be able to perform things. So this diary will tell you that you kept in the heart yesterday, you kept in the heart the day before. So you will be able to perform. You just kept in 300 hours per class, 200 hours per revision. So you will be able to perform a particular subject. That's what this diary proves to you. And at last, aim to score 50%. All that is like trending code in the famous Chiteshwar Pujara example. And also at last, you can scan this QR code and scan this and keep it with you because at present there may not be so many things. But in few days you get to see many things. You can, I will share this QR link in SICASA groups, or you can have a clip. Because at present what we run is, I told you these are the customs case laws, which are there in our question banks for Indian taxation exams. The customs case laws, which we prepare Indian customs case laws across 20 plus chapters of customs, but we prepare just 4 pages of PDF so that you need not read all those 20 chapters to pick out these 18 case laws. And mark my words, in May 2025, Pradima process was Union of India. This was the case for the revision exam. So in the 1.5 days, if you could read this just 4 pages, this is a 4 months case law. And what it tells, just 2 lines. I wrote these 2 lines, that's it. But you have to remember that whole case law name, because as I said, it's just a common sense. But just a Supreme Court judgment in 1996 validates this common sense. So that's what you should be doing. You should be doing just this 4 pages in the last 1.5 days. That covers all your customs case laws. These PDFs will be uploaded in the link we share. This link is mostly for final students because we prepare notes for final. So CA may not find much use using that link. So that ends our session on how to prepare for CA exams, not how to ace or how to crack in questions, because it's just a guideline which we followed, and this is just proven tips which you may follow. You may add some other tips. So they are just proven tips, and if you follow them, you may. We don't guarantee you that because we are just CS. We give just a reasonable assurance, not a guarantee. Thank you.